Hi, Writing Barn writer friends. Here I am with a blazer on and makeup in the pandemic. And I got dressed up today so I could be with all of you. So here I am at the very empty Writing Barn in front of the big bookshelf. And I want to take a couple of minutes to share with you some of the changes and shifting that's been going on behind the scenes at the Writing Barn and how we serve all of you. We've had some questions from some of our customers, short-term and long-term, and I wanted to just be with you for a little bit and kind of walk you through all the different offerings that we have. So first off, we have our Writing Barn craft webinars. Those are 90-minute webinars with a Q&A that have top industry, amazing authors with insights into our craft and creativity. Sometimes their editor joins them for a Q&A. And really, I consider those bite-sized morsels on craft and creativity to regenerate us, refuel us, and keep us going. Then we have our 6-week classes, which is originally what we became known for at the Writing Barn, that and our intensives. And so our classes online continue. We've always used Zoom for our platform over the last several years. And our 6-week classes, I'm going to back up, our half-day classes are 3 hours long. And those also have an incredible publishing instructor. And they walk you through exercises. Those are meant to be smaller groups. And I think of those as an extremely yummy, healthy, well-balanced lunch. So if you're hungry for a little bit more craft and a little bit more possible one-on-one time, a little bit of more space in terms of like asking a question that you don't want to ask in front of a large webinar audience, the half-day classes are the ones to take. Then we have our 6-week classes. So I think of our 6-week classes as a dinner party. And the reason I call them a dinner party is because you get connection, hopefully possible friendships, lots of critique partners meet in our 6-week classes. You really get to know your instructor. We've had instructors go on to blurb books that have come out of our classes. People keep friendships and connection. But really the purpose of the 6-week class is to tackle a craft aspect, to work on your work. And usually there's a workshop component. So again, these are smaller classes. The 6-week classes cap at 18. And the half-day classes cap at 30. The webinar classes kind of don't cap, so they're large. And so hopefully like you're building over time and you're building relationships over time. Then that brings you to our intensives. So our intensives have changed during COVID because we can't gather safely right here at the Writing Barn. So we brought them online and we're doing some experimentation. We had 2 great ones in 2020 that were supposed to be live. And upcoming, we have our chapter book intensive, which is our first one in February, with incredible author Marcy Colleen, Hannah Barnaby, and Hannah's editor, Julia Sui. I think that's how you say Julia's name. And Hannah's editor, Hannah's agent, Susan Hawk. And so our intensives, I think of as, compressed experiences that are intense, both virtually and in person. They're joyous, but they go deep. You get one-on-one industry connection. Usually there's a one-on-one component of 20 to 25-minute review of your work directly with one of the faculty, as well as all of the faculty lecture. There are additional places to meet and connect, even online, in breakout rooms, in reading celebrations. And it's to give you some industry exposure in a warmer and jovial setting. So not a huge conference. Even the virtual intensives, though they're larger virtually than we have when they're here in person, they're meant to be no more than 40 people, about and really allow you to develop a connection with the work and possibly with your industry person and with each other. Okay, and so hopefully if you sign up for one of those, you block off your calendar, you ask your family to think of you as out of town. We'll help you set that structure up for yourself, because it's hard to ask for what we need and what we want during COVID, especially as writers with our busy lives and our families and everything right in our face. So that's the intent and purpose for our virtual intensives. And then we have our Write Submit support offerings. And those are 6-month programs. And our next ones launch in February. We have a picture book offering with Jessica Bagley, who's taught with us before. And we have our novel program. Write Submit support is led by New York Times bestseller Carrie Jones, who's led all of our novel WSSs since I turned them over. And we have Rachel Starnes, who's leading her second WSS memoir offering. So what a WSS is, and there's tons more on the website, we'll let you know a little bit more. But I wanted to convey to you that Write Submit support is really meant to mirror how an agent and or an editor works with you one-on-one. So your feedback is directly from the publishing professional. You get to talk about blocks in your creative life. You get to share about questions about the craft. There is a craft presentation. So you go deep into something that you're interested in and you present it and teach it to the other small group members. But it's not a critique group. We have critique groups and those are free. So you don't need a critique group. But the deep work one-on-one to either break open your voice or to expand your body of work or to prepare something for publication or to help you move the work out into the world, that's what Write Submit support is about. And check out our success stories. We've got a lot of them, lots of books coming out from our WSS groups. I created those about 4 years ago and they've been online, I think, for 3. So please consider that if you want some deep one-on-one time. I consider it like a solo marathon with you and your trainer, who is your coach, your facilitator of the program. And then you get group cheering from the sidelines from the other up to 12 participants. So again, smaller group, direct feedback. And then last but not least, there's the Courage to Create. So the Courage to Create is something new that I've been working on for several years. And it was a way to serve writers holistically about the literary life. So we will get back to our podcast called The Courage to Create, and I will be interviewing people and adding tips and all sorts of stuff for you through that when I have a little bit more energy and a little bit more time. I promise you it's coming. But The Courage to Create goes hand in hand with WSS. For those who take it, apply, and are accepted. They get that for free during their 6 months. So that's an additional $375 value for 6 months. And that's to have larger group support in a larger group along with your small group, more connections. And then in Courage to Create, we have Ask an Agent sessions and panels. I invite guests specifically based on the needs of the community. So when enrollment opens up, which it will in January, February, for the next series, we have 150 writers in the first offering. We will be like surveying people, who do you want to meet? What editors do you want to see? What do you want to learn about? And then we tailor make the program to you. So that's with our Ask an Agent sessions, our editor insight sessions, literary life coaching calls with me for the pre-pubbed group or for the early to mid-career group. Early to mid-career, sometimes we focus on some marketing challenges, agent issues, sometimes contract things, stuff that we don't want to talk about online, okay, but we can talk about safely. And in the pre-pub space too, we talk about queries and we talk about finding the time and energy to write, all different sorts of things. And there are specific tenets around the Courage to Create. One main one is that creativity is not a competition. There's room for all of us. And basically with the Courage to Create community, and as I've been building the Writing Barn for the last 8 years, and the programming has expanded, and our reach into the publishing world in both children's publishing and in other aspects of the publishing industry, I've seen that the country club model of days past is broken, where we look around and we're like so hoping to get invited in to some secretive club that we don't know how we got in, if we are allowed in. And we're so afraid of getting kicked out. We don't ask questions. This leads to like complications with our agents, irritation with our publishing houses. It leaves us feeling disempowered, upset, looking around, blaming others, blaming ourselves, and it's yucky. The power dynamic is off in publishing. We know that. We know that, and we're working on it. We need Diverse Books is working on it in its own way. Own Voices are working on it in its own way. People taking to Twitter are working on it. And then the Courage to Create for me is my effort to shift publishing from that country club model to a more open, honest, transparent community garden of varied voices, where we all grow at different times. It takes lots of different hands to till the soil. You can come in, work for a time, and take a rest. You can sit in community and seek solace and support, and you can keep going. So I really want publishing to change. And that's really behind everything at the Writing Barn. As a creative, you know, I've been at this 20 years. I've been published for 11, and I don't want to be exhausted. I want to be joyous. I want to do my best work. I want to encourage others to do their best work. And I want us all to give ourselves a stamp of approval, figure out exactly what classes or what events we need to take, and to add to our toolboxes. So there's lots of different offerings and lots of other great writing organizations for you to participate in. But that's what we're doing here at the Writing Barn. So thank you for listening. Any questions, you can reach out, and you'll be seeing this video maybe in a couple of different places. So thank you for listening, and write, submit, support, retreat, create, celebrate, and creativity is not a competition. Bye. That's long.